Hello and welcome back to the Ice Court, folks. I'm the HeirofCarthage, and we are going to continue our campaign to bring Kislev dominance. Look at this. We have rebuilt the Dwarf Kingdom of Krakadrak for them, and we've used Slaaneash's bribe to ensure that we have massive funding to help us, because, boy, we are in a lot of fights. We have the Demons of Chaos here, pushing towards us, which the Legion of Chaos faction, that's the one that's the Demon Prince. But Tsarina Katarin is headed in to help us out. I've got Kislev with the spam army nearby. I believe right now we're not able to move. That happened at the end of our last episode, and speaking of, I'll already be getting to the comments because Josh Koch says loss of movement by all your lords and houses isn't a bug, it's Tzeentch. I forgot about the Tzeentch ability to do this. I actually used it in my last Tzeentch video. So yes, I forgot about that. The reason why I said it was a bug, or thought it was a bug, is number one, because I forgot about the Tzeentch ability, as mentioned. But number two, I also had ran into a bug during early access of this game where that would actually happen. I wouldn't be able to move any of my forces. I would have to turn the game off and reboot it and come back in. So that was actually a thing that was happening for a while. So I apologize for the confusion on my part. I was incorrect as to what was causing the issue, and it was just the Tzeentch thing. That's fine. We're okay with that. Tzeentch gonna be Tzeentch. Okay, so I've got this province here being protected better. We're probably gonna get attacked, unfortunately, but hopefully we'll have some better defenses over the next couple of turns. When I am able to move Kislev and my other forces will get into position. But unfortunately for me, my forces are going to be immobile for this turn. So let's take care of our skill points. Heart of Winter, I'm going to continue working on that to reduce the Winds of Magic cost. And then over here, it says I can move my agent, but that's actually not true, so I'm going to skip that. Let's damage buildings at Lebya, or Leblia, however you say that. I'm not going to worry about it at the moment. And I'm going to go ahead and end this turn so that hopefully we'll be able to move on the next turn. I'm going to get to a couple more comments, starting out with the Kill Scribe, who's giving us an update on the number of kills. At Katarina's Ice Sculptures, Nurgle has now donated 4,862 corpses to become ice sculptures. Khorne at 4,632, so Khorne is potentially threatening to take the lead, depending on what happens with Nurgle. Defensive Alliance from the Dawi. I mean, I would be interested in such. Let's accept their offer. The Ropsman clan is destroyed at 3609, Bubonic Swarm 3595, so that's actually more Nurgle there that gets thrown in. So Nurgle's actually probably firmly in the lead, but it's different Nurgle factions, and the Besornling doing the Norskin part of this with 3,589 losses. Make sure you all go give him a thumbs up and tell him thanks for counting that for us. I love it. Ricky says, I absolutely love the cinematic battles. Keep them coming. Well, the good news for you today, Ricky, is that I will keep them coming for today, so glad you are enjoying them. Glad you are enjoying them. All right, so let's get Tsarina Katarin on the move now that we can move. She is taking attrition in a foreign realm there. And speaking of being able to move, we've got work to do. The threat of the ogres is reduced somewhat for the time being. We're working on more defenses at Erengrad. So I think I'm going to take this army out of Erengrad and start putting pressure here on Warfiend and these other forces. Zoishank is still a couple of turns. I'm going to go ahead and repair this building here. That might get the attention.
I am truth.
Frost Maiden.
Let's take Kislev down here and make sure we're in our own territory, but we want to come down here and start threatening these forces for the Legions of Chaos. We want to force them back, ideally. I'm going to go ahead and embed this Frost Maiden here into Kistelton's army. Actually reduced our upkeep some by embedding her. That's good. I'm not really worried about turning a massive positive income, because honestly, as long as we can get into some big fights, we'll sort out the income thing. It'll work out in the end. So we have an Ataman here, so Pragmatic Defender gives us less attrition when under siege, which honestly is going to be the better. I don't usually end up using these guys as commanders. Sometimes I do. But yeah, I think that that's going to be the more sensible choice. Taking less armies when under siege, or less attrition. Both these armies have plague, which is irritating because when we kill them, we're almost certain to pick it up ourselves. So, rest in peace is us. Go ahead and spend all this Slaaneshi money that we've gotten a hold of. I mean, why else did we take it if we aren't going to spend it? See, like here, this is a good investment. That's an extra 200 per turn income at Erengrad. And then we've got stuff that can be built here too. We can get some more income here. So again, we're just going to go ahead and spend that cash. I expect that we're going to get to recover some of it. I'm going to bring Hannibal Barcus back into friendly territory. I can't do it with just standard movement. So we're going to have to force march to get back into our territory so we can start recovering. Apologize, I have a little bit of allergy stuff going on, so my voice is a little scratchy. It's just because of that. So not actually under any Nurgle plague at the moment, next? Which is honestly surprising.
The Orthodox.
Let's see. I'm gonna move this agent over here. Keep an eye at Erengrad. Wolfenburg is defended. I don't know if it's super well defended, but it's defended. Could take over this settlement, but I don't have an army in position to do it, unfortunately. Looks like we're in pretty good shape overall. I do want to take a look at diplomacy. It's been a while since I've played, so let's just take a look at quick deals and see if there's anything available to us that would be of interest. Hochland would likely enter defensive alliance and would enter a military alliance. I think we should take the military alliance with them, so let's initiate that diplomacy.
Only Sigma's god
balance the offer. I love these features that they've added to diplomacy. It makes it so much better. So much better.
Lord of all.
So quick deal. No one else that's interested in a military alliance at the moment.
What?
We can confederate, but these factions are worth more to me as a trade partner and a buffer state right now than they are as confederated states. So let's just keep things the way they are. So, man, again, thank you, CA, for improving the diplomacy. That is such a better interface.
Tutored by ice.
Got a Frost Maiden here. Let's use her to go ahead and try some assassinations.
Suffer winter's bite.
Might as well. Quick critical failure. So does that mean she is straight dead or wounded? Wounded. Okay. Alright. Well, gotta make an attempt. You're gonna miss every shot you don't take. Let's go ahead and end another turn and I'll get some more of your comments here. Ooh, we got a battle on our hands. Good. So Kastalton managed to draw in Legion of Chaos here. That is a worrisome amount of Exalted Demonettes. We'll have to deploy in a staggered line with our archers in order to keep fire down. The auto-resolve's honestly planning on being pretty kind to us, but let's go ahead and fight this one manually. And let me grab one more comment here. This one from Max. He says there's another glitch introduced in 1.1 patch. TAA broken on grass and made it all pixelated and flickering. Interesting. I didn't know about that one, Max, so thanks for bringing that to my attention. Let's go fight this battle. I don't know if this is his first appearance in a cinematic battle for us. It may be for Kastalton, but here he is atop his warbear. Man, this would make a really cool tabletop miniature. Games Workshop, please. Please do it. In any case, we got our light war sleds moving up. I'm going to open fire on the Legion of Chaos over here, and we're going to be targeting their leader. I'm going to start to do big damage to her. What was really funny, my boy was watching me play some campaign the other day. He loves watching me play Warhammer, and he saw the Slaaneshi units like this, like the Demonettes and like this Illuris, and he's like, what are they doing wearing metal swimsuits into a battle? And although he didn't fully understand my answer, and of course I didn't take time to explain it because he's far too young, all I replied in return was, son, we're lucky that the Slaaneshis are wearing anything at all. And he said, ew, gross. My thoughts exactly. So the little heir, always enjoying him some Warhammer. So here we go. I've got the light war sleds doing their thing. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and push forward. There's no reason why I shouldn't go ahead and try and get into bow range while the enemies are moving into place. My Cassars are going to do extremely good damage against the enemy at range, and of course will do extremely poorly in melee I can use Kislev to help tank some damage, and he will get hurt very badly. Tanking damage. You can see my archers are now opening fire there on the left flank. This is going to force the Allurist to bring her Legion of Chaos forward. I'm going to use my army ability to slow them down, but these are Slaaneshi units. They're going to be moving across the battlefield with great speed, unless we employ a whole lot of magic, which I cannot at the moment in this army. So again, Kislev is going to be used to tank. And I really want to cover the formation I'm using here, a checkerboard formation. The idea of this formation is so that the enemy cannot engage enough of my archer units at once to keep themselves from being shot to death. So you can see how that formation works. Now it's a little bit wide. You do need to watch these formations, and as you're using the checkerboard formation, you may need to turn units so that they stay, the enemies stay within their arc of fire. But otherwise, it's kind of a fire and forget, and you can just try and keep your attention on your units that are doing the tanking. Like Kislev here, I mean, he's a legendary lord, so I wasn't particularly worried about losing him in the fight, so I just went ahead and left him there to tank. I don't think we'll lose him. Oh, sweet, I'm not getting the UI glitch here where I get like 20 frames per second when the UI is on. So in any case, yeah, you see the checkerboard formation coming into usefulness here. So see how I'm only having a few units now. If I had made one long line or two long lines, more of my units would be engaged in melee at once, and this allows more of my units to fire. Plus, the checkerboard sometimes will get units caught like this, where you get a clear line of fire in between. It's another good reason to try out that checkerboard formation, especially with gun units, but it works just fine with archery units as well. So Kislev routed, he's out here. He'll be back, though. And meanwhile, the Legion of Chaos and their Exalted Demonettes are pushing into melee, and like I said, now they'll cause some damage. However, as mentioned, they cannot engage enough of my units to get them to stop firing, and although they take less damage while they're in melee with my troops, they are still going to be taking a steady stream of bow fire, and these aren't even particularly upgraded Hussars. Don't underestimate what Hussars can do, especially whenever they get the right upgrades from their lord. They can do some really nice damage. I do feel like that FXAA does look a little better. I like it. I feel like maybe the graphics improved just slightly. I could be wrong, though. Maybe it's just the placebo effect, because I was told that it would be. Yeah, these Plague Bearers here, they're going to be way tougher, of course, in melee than my Hussars, but they're being hit by bow fire. And these Demonettes continue to try and push and pull through. It's just not going to work out for him. And then as Kislev regrouped, I used a healing ability he has and pulled him right back up into combat. He will survive just fine. I'm using him to kind of bump those chariots out of combat momentarily. The Slaaneshi Demonettes had some moderate success over here on my left flank. Not for long. You can see here I've turned some units to face the fight. My bear sleds are just going to sit back and take shots. I, of course, can charge them into melee to help now that the enemy forces are reduced. It's just they had taken quite a bit of damage early on. Remember, bear sleds got nerfed, or at least the light war sleds did. They lowered their armor, which I agree with. I think that's a good move by CA. Puts more distinction between the different types of horse sleds, and it makes the heavier horse sleds worth more. So I think that was a very nice move. Again, you can see the Nurglings here. Not Nurgle, like actual Nurglings. Plague Bearers fighting me. They're not going to last. I've got the light war sleds charging through. There's a Herald of Nurgle right here. See its leader. And at this point, there is widespread crumbling going on, and I'm moving over here. You can see more of my archers into position. And these Plague Bearers are going to start to take some heavy archer fire, plus the crumbling. And there they go in a nice unison display of animation there. And then the Herald of Nurgle is the last one remaining, and he is down too. Okay, that's going to be a solid victory for us there. It could have been worse. We only lost one unit of Hussars overall. I'll take that, especially considering we're just operating with a bunch of cheap infantry. Picked up a nice boost to our treasury as well. That's why I was saying, it doesn't matter if we're a little bit in the negative or low income. As long as we can keep battles like this going, we can easily pay for our forces. And that bribe of Slaanesh kind of helped get us there in the first place. It's very possible we're going to end up plagued after this. Replenishment, though, isn't going to do much for us, so I'm just going to take the extra cash. At this point, yeah, we got plagued. So if I took that extra replenishment, it was only a slight bit of replenishment, and then we're going to sit around for however many turns not replenishing. I need to go find a mod that changes plagues. I hate the way plagues operate right now in the game, and I need to go mod it because It is really irritating and not fun. Let's see here. Get through this turn end and see where we're at. So Kistalton's going to be out, and this is why I hate plagues. Kistalton's army is now basically feckless and pointless for however many terms we get randomly assigned the plague. That's why I don't like plagues.
We have news of your brother.
Oh, look.
Boris
There's Boris. We can go try and free Boris while we're at it.
To save Kislev in its time of need.
So in fact, let's take
must
Katarin
act
that
fast,
way.
For the forces of chaos
Get ready
surround
to
him.
free
I
Boris
can arrange your execution.
from his captivity. I'm gonna
Brother
move
Kislev.
Hannibal Baracus closer to Novchosi here.
Move or die.
Enter into an ambush stance and hopefully catch these raiders on the next turn. Do have Urson's thing going on here. Okay, the Besornlings are moving in on Erengrad. That's fine. Erengrad can hold its own at the moment. It's not amazing, but it can hold for a few turns. And then I can use this army to strike Warfiend. And this army is not amazing, but it's got a lot of arrows, and between these bear riders, we should be pretty good. Like I said, this army ought to be able to get the job done.
I am
So we're going to be sitting here taking attrition, so what I'll do with Kistalton is just stick him back a little bit. That way he won't be stuck on the front line, trying to hold off an attack. We can go ahead and merge all these Kassar units. We can consider recruiting more, but for now, with everything taking attrition, we're just going to kind of let his army sit back and take it easy here. Let's see, we finished Logistician, we finished Quartermaster. Renowned and Feared will drop the upkeep cost of his army a little bit more there, so that saved us about 200 per turn, so worth. And then let's start working on Lightning Strike, or actually, can he get his bear? He does have his bear, never mind. So he's got his bear. The Lullaby would be what we want to do next, and then we'll work on Lightning Strike. So there we go. Let's see here. Let's go with Evasion, because we want to open up Heart of Winter and Crystal Sanctuary with that Frost Maiden. And we are ready to go fight against Warfiend here.
Destroy these fools.
Shouldn't run. Nope, he is gonna run. What a crybaby.
Warm yourselves with
I thought it was blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne here, Warfiend.
Death.
Well, if you're not gonna provide it to the blood god, then I will. So I'll see you on the battlefield. So Boyar Casimir has been looking for an opportunity to prove himself to Kislev, and here is his opportunity. His army of Kassars and Ice Guard is well situated to be able to do some tremendous damage to the Legion of Chaos and their Khorne-focused army here. This one led by a Herald of Khorne, and he is on a Blood Shrine as well, so he does have the Khorne Mower. And typically speaking, the Khorne Mower is a pretty nice unit, but with my Warbear Riders, I will be able to easily hold the enemy back on their initial, and you can see, again, I've set up using a checkerboard formation. So 2 lines of Kassars checkerboarded, and then a single line of Ice Guard in the back. The Ice Guard are there so that they can do max damage from rain. The Kassars tank all the initial melee, and should the enemy manage to cut through 2 lines of Kassars, which these Kassars actually have pretty decent melee defense, then they would be faced by a fresh load of Ice Guard that have been shredding them from range and are now very capable in melee. So the Bloodletters of Khorne, very capable anti-infantry units, but under heavy fire, unsupported. The Blood Shrine of Khorne, I think, is still up. I could be wrong. It may have died right in the middle of my formation. Let's take a look real quick. I forgot. I believe it died over here somewhere. It's just the remains of it go away because it's a demon unit. There were a few Chaos Warriors of Khorne, and then there are some units coming forward from a distance, but this is going to be an easy victory for our Boyar, and he's going to get to prove his loyalty to Tsarina Katarin, which is good for him because we all know, based on the intro to this campaign, how Tsarina Katarin treats people that she's not happy with. Just turns you into an ice sculpture, which is a pretty painful way to go. So yeah, the forces of the Legion of Chaos here are being overpowered. You see our Boyar here, not afraid to get into melee himself. And then we're going to see widespread crumbling, and disintegration as the Legion of Chaos is routed in the face of the mighty forces of Kislev. Alright, that was a good battle for us. Picked up some cash, picked up a talisman of protection. Should give us a small ward save. Not an amazing piece of equipment, but a good one. We can get some solid replenishment here. We're going to take some attrition this turn in, so I'm going to go ahead and take that, because this army may need to be ready to fight again soon. Because there are many other armies in the vicinity, or many enemies, I should say, in the vicinity. There we go, actually, I can get back to friendly territory. Alright, so we're back in friendly territory. We're going to have to come back down here and get these raiding Besornlings, or whatever they are, Greylings, out of our territory. Zarina Katarin is headed towards her father. Help free him from the charge of the demons holding him. Hannibal is laying an ambush. Let's take a look at our buildings. We can go ahead and go up here and improve our roads at Bear Pit. And then in Northern Oblast, we finished some defensive buildings, and now we can upgrade said defensive buildings. We've got a couple more that'll be finished on the next turn. And in the forest here, we can improve our merchant traders. So that bribe is coming in super handy right now from Slanesh. So appreciate Slanesh's donation to my cause here. I'm going to go ahead and put this guy on a warbearer.
A symbol of my
And then
unparalleled
once we get
authority.
that Frost Maiden back, she needs to go into this army, because we need some magic in this
Kislev's
army.
chosen.
We got Salyuk's Lullaby. Got replenished troops, so we'll just go ahead here with Impassioned. I like to start off with melee defense. It's kind of hard to go wrong with melee defense. And let's see, so that's going to leave us about ready for a turn end here. There is an enemy agent. Let's go ahead and try an assassination here. Or wounding, whatever we want to call it. Wow, we're successful. Excellent. Okay, says we can build up our outposts. Kislevite district. So casualty replenishment rate for us increases. It gives them a better garrison. Provides allied recruitment of selection units for this faction's global recruitments. Okay. Let's go ahead and build that. Why not? Again, thanks to the kind donation of Slanesh. Puts us in a good position to do so. Alright, let's go ahead and end that turn, and I'm going to get to some more of your comments here. Like the Legion of Chaos on the move again. Marcus says, great stuff as always. Appreciate the content. Be well. Hope you have a great week. Thank you, Marcus. Sorry the content has been slower than I would like, but I am doing my best to keep up. And you know what? We're going to keep at it. Whether or not I think I'm doing all that I want to, don't quit. Gonna keep going, and I hope you all keep enjoying it. Sons of Lorgar says, F for Scrag. Legend has it, last one-pot dish got served peppered, salted, and cold. Yeah. Scrag Daddy got crapped on. But you know what? I don't really feel bad about it. Ogres are actually an interesting matchup for Kislev. In the campaign, at least. I don't know enough about multiplayer to really speak to it, but in the campaign, as I mentioned, ogres are a challenging matchup in the right scenarios. Like, if you bring the right troops, Kislev can really crap hard on the ogres. But without the right troops, it can be pretty difficult.
I am Constantine.
Did we get hero wounded on that turn? Damage walls, ambush foiled.
Patriarch of Kislev.
I feel like... yeah, we're not going to be able to wound people this turn. Let's just move over here.
Face the flail.
Zoe Shank. These guys, I want to get rid of their rating, so I'm going to start kind of sneaking my way down towards Greyling, because the Legion of Chaos is slowed at the moment. They'll be back in just a couple of turns, but they're slowed enough to where we can get the job done here. And it looks like Zarina Katarin is going to be able to fight to free her father, so I feel like we should take care of that as well. So let's move to the Frozen Falls. Get ready to take on this quest battle to free our father. And here we go.
My father, already ensnared by chaos magics. Sons and daughters of Kislev, we will not let these foul puppets deprive us of Kislev's sire once more. Steel your hearts. We fight to free the Red Tsar!
Alright, Tsarina Katarin is off at the Frozen Falls to free her father. She is angry, she has a bear, and she is also full of the winds of magic here, and is well supported by large forces. So Tsarina Katarin is going to go move up the middle, supported by the Khazars and Streltsy. And on the flanks, I've got my light war sleds that are going to head down here to my left flank in order to face some pink horrors. So there goes my light war sleds. We need to upgrade those to heavy sleds, by the way. It is time. And then my Ice Guard is going to be turned to face, my Ice Guard with swords. Will face a pink horror that is approaching from our right flank, and then our Ice Guard with glaives are going to move up the center with our Khazars and Streltsy. There are 3 sorcerers of Tzeentch that need to be defeated. Each one is standing next to this, like, eyeball tentacle thing here. So here we are. Going to be an iridescent horror at each one of them. So we have to kill these sorcerers in order to free Boris Ursus from the clutches of chaos. See here that Tsarina Katarin, her Patriarch, and her Frost Maiden have all charged forward into the blue horrors and furies of chaos. And they have pink horrors in the background, and then also some spawn of Tzeentch. Nevertheless, these are some very powerful single entities that I have, and they are very closely and well supported by some heavy ranged fire from my Khazars. So undoubtedly the forces of chaos will be suffering mass casualties under the pistol fire of my Khazars. So you can see that we're able to easily push them back. The light war sleds dispatched their pink horrors and are now moving in for an outflank. And the pink horrors here are almost dead already. So the middle gets cleaned out, and meanwhile there's an exchange of icy arrow fire and magical pink fire here. The trees causing a little bit of disruption, just taking it a little bit longer for this fight to play out, but the pink horrors are utterly overwhelmed. So that is the state of the battle at the moment. So I've got my forces moving up the center, and we are leading far ahead with Tsarina Katarin and the light war sleds. The light war sleds are going to pummel into this pink horror, and Tsarina Katarin is going for the kill on the first iridescent horror, and she'll be supported again by her Frost Maiden and her Patriarch. See there an Infernal Gateway being laid down by the iridescent horror. Fortunately for me, the Infernal Gateway won't do much to my light war sleds. It would have been far more effective against infantry class units. So here I'm going to be relatively safe. Now, speaking of safe, someplace I am not safe, Tzeentch got some reinforcements from the back of the map that I didn't immediately notice. There's going to be 2 Burning Chariot units here. Again, these would make awesome tabletop models. I bet they're already out there, though I just haven't fought them. The Tzeentch units are probably there for Age of Sigmar or in the original Warhammer Fantasy Battles. Now, these Burning Chariots have already closed the distance. They cause massive damage to infantry formations like my own. So this is not a great position for me to be in. And they've also got a Soul Grinder of Slaanesh, or sorry, not Slaanesh, Tzeentch, which can have some ranged fire as well. However, once my Ice Guard get turned into position and begin firing, they will quickly shred through these Burning Chariots. They do not have armor. They only have a bit of resistance and barrier. Otherwise, they will fall apart quickly. Now, the same is not true of this Soul Grinder. It will take a lot longer to kill it because it's in the woods, so my Ice Guard will continue to engage those targets. Meanwhile, moving forward, the other sorcerer that we need to face is ahead. Tsarina Katarin and her heroes are now going to head down here and take on some units. I believe there's some Flamers of Tzeentch, yep, down there in the forest on the Icy Lake. And my sleds have engaged a Forsaken of Tzeentch here, and we'll be able to dispatch it while my Khazars and Streltsy are still moving into position. And so yeah, here comes the Flamers of Tzeentch. They're going to try and kill Tsarina, but it is not going to work. They do not have enough Warp Flame fast enough to stop her, so they will feel the wrath of the Warbears of Kislev. Man, this game is beautiful. Really is. Really is. Can't wait to get Mortal Empire so we can have all the factions in the game looking this wonderful. All right, so let's take a look back here. Swing to the back. There's still the duel with the Soul Grinder going on, though the Soul Grinder is taking damage rather rapidly. Turn it up where you can see its hit points. Yeah, so there you can go. You can see it's taking a tremendous amount of damage. So the Soul Grinder is going to be destroyed. Meanwhile, my infantry units are going to arrive in position. The Sorcerer of Tzeentch was kindly enough to walk right in front of my Streltsy, who are happy to go demon hunting at any given point in time. So there's the Streltsy. Actually, they're killing a few Forsaken that we're routing, but my Streltsy will be now targeting this iridescent horror. I believe it's an iridescent horror. It could be a herald. This is, yeah, herald. It is a herald. I know the other one was an iridescent horror, but here we've got the herald. There was some reinforcements here. A couple of blue horrors and a pink horror have moved up onto the left flank of these, so I'm going to fall back just a little bit with my Cassars, get out of range of some of that, while my Streltsy use their axe guns to finish off the second Sorcerer, and doing their part to free the Red Tsar. You see that Herald of Tzeentch thought it wise to flee, but he should have thought of that sooner, and now he is dead. The Streltsy have managed to crumble him out and shoot him to death, and now they'll be able to turn and fire. So the blue horrors moved into position. I brought my war sleds back to go after the pink horrors, since they outrange most of my units here. So the light war sleds are going to shred through there, and meanwhile, Tsarina Katarin has moved across the map and engaged a unit of blue horrors, and is busy defeating them. And then my Ice Guard, I've continued to move closer to the battle. There's a pink horror hiding in the forest down here, so my Ice Guard is going to move into position on this ridge line and open fire on the pink and blue horrors, who are helping to guard the final Sorcerer. That final Sorcerer is present here. I'm going to use a little bit of shenanigans to get through here, because there is actually some pretty decent defenses for this Sorcerer. There's a Chaos Knight of Tzeentch with 2 Exalted Flamers. Then they have some pink horrors here. I think these are just standard pink horrors. I don't think these are the Exalted ones. They are not. And then this is... Let's see if it's a Herald or an Iridescent. This one's an Iridescent horror. So, I'm going to use some Ice Magic with Tsarina Katarin to make sure that these Knights aren't going anywhere quickly, and then I'm going to drop a Heart of Winter on them, and then summon some Snow Leopards. So I will basically get these guys to waste any charge or anything else they had going on. See here, he's going to try and use the, I believe that's Pink Fire of Tzeentch, Blue Fire, I don't remember which one. He's using the magic missiles. Those are good missiles, by the way, for him to be using. Here comes the summoned Snow Leopard. It's going to absorb some fire from that Exalted Flamer. You can see the Heart of Winter is now in effect. The Snow Leopards are going to charge forward, begin the engagement. I've got 2 of them. One summoned from Katarina, the other from her Frost Maiden. And now that the battle has been engaged, you can see that the Chaos Knights are taking tremendous damage. Now I will charge forward because they are in bad shape and have already routed, taking massive damage. And at this point, everything just starts to crumble. The last Sorcerer is also crumbling. You can see him here. And as he is finished off, then Boris Ursus will be freed from his prison and free to return and join his daughter in ridding the world of chaos demons. So folks, that is going to be it for the battle from the Frozen Falls. It is a success for Kislev. Alright, well, another solid victory for us. Other than those burning chariots, really nothing much got done by the Tzeentchian forces. We can take some extra cash or replenish quick. I'm just going to take the cash because we're well within our own lines and we're not at any major risk of having to fight another battle back to back.
They are no
So
threat.
we are best to just bolster our treasury at the moment.
Tsarina Katarin
So we are
of
set to
Kislev.
go. Tsarina has freed her father, Boris. And basically, Kislev gifted to the Urson Revivalists, so we can give Kislev to him, and he'll be his own faction. We can give him Erigrad, we can give him Prague, or we can have him join our faction. So that's what we're going to do. So the Red Tsar is returned. So Boris is now part of our faction. We can replace our standard Boyar here with Boris, and I plan on doing that. Yeah, he's going to be the right one to replace, because we got Castalton there. So let's see, get on the details here. Let's replace this lord with the Red Tsar, who is here. He is going to start at level 1, which kind of stinks, but we need to start getting the Red Tsar ready for combat. So here he is. He's got his army. So Boris Ursus has returned to fight for Kislev.
Of Kislev.
Take a look and remind myself. We've got 3 more turns till my ice witches make it back. Okay, we'd already moved a little bit here, I think. Hannibal Bearkiss has his movement, and the Besornlings caught wind of what we were up to and took off running. Not surprised. Looks like the dwarves are, at least for the moment, holding on to their keep, though they've got plenty of enemies inbound. That's fine. It's all good. We don't mind taking on lots of enemies. So, with Hannibal's army, there is this stuff up in the mountains that is unsettled. It's mixed up with possibly Skaven or unsettled and greenskins. There's quite a few trade goods up there too. That could be an interesting front to open up now. We could continue to get demons coming in. But, I mean, it's an opportunity for us to take control of the high pass here. At least it seems like an opportunity that I would like to take advantage of. So I'm going to go ahead and start moving that direction. This is all Ice Court territory, so I'm just going to continue to push forward. I mean, Novchozy is going to be pretty darn well defended, and Sapolsky is too. I mean, we've got pretty solid defenses there. We got the dwarves on our northern flank. They may not be amazing, but their high armor should make them able to at least be somewhat resistant to just spam demon stacks. We'll see. Let's take a look. Buildings-wise, I'm going to come over here to the browser. Yep, Northern Oblast where we need to be. So let's improve our defenses where we can, improve these income buildings where we can. And we have an Ataman thing here, so reward the one, so he gets the thing, or a boon for all. Let's do the boon for all, because you tend to have him remain as an Ataman. And I think that's just about all we need to take care of, other than Kastalton hasn't moved, but that's okay. We've got an unassigned skill point for our Patriarch here. Fully graded for the most part. Let's go ahead and continue with Inviolable. Let's make him as survivable as possible. And then Tsarina Katarin's Frost Maiden has leveled up as well. We've got all the upper tier magic. Got all the lower tier magic. Almost finished with Guardian's Call. Let's just go ahead and do that. That'll improve our summoned kitty cat. Let me get a couple more of your comments here before we end this one. It's been a good episode. Got some good stuff done. Elon F says, yes, glad to see you back with more content. Keep up the good job. Well, I don't feel like I've done the best job, but I'm trying. Things have been very busy, but I'm sticking to it. I don't give up. And so I'm going to keep doing it. So I'm glad you're enjoying it. Lord Crowstaff says that poor Zargard at the end of the first battle. Yeah, I got absolutely crapped on. You know, 'tis gonna happen when you're in the service of air. Grimgore Ironside says, hi air, game looks a bit blurry. Try changing anti-aliasing to FXAA instead of TAA. That worked for me. I think CA screwed up something in their latest patch. Let's try it real quick and let's take a look. So switch to FXAA. I don't remember which one I'm running on right now, to be honest. Right, graphics options, advanced. It's on TAA, FXAA. Apply changes. Give it a second and see what happens. I haven't messed with these settings a whole lot. And of course, this could vary graphics card to graphics card, but if it is something that CA messed up in the patch, possibly it. So we'll run it on this for a while and see what you all think. Thanks for the tip. Always willing to give stuff a try. Figure you all learn things that I may not know yet, and so it's always appreciated. All right, so with Tsarina Katarin freed up,
Do not tarry.
I'm going to head back west and come to face off against the Legions of Chaos. We're going to need a couple armies to face them, and it's because of the stupid plague mechanic. I'll go find a mod that fixes that. If it doesn't, like if there's no mod, I might have to ask someone to help me make one. We're going to continue to move forward and hide in an ambush stance so we can sneak up on these Greylings. There we go. And let's
Priest
upgrade
of the
here.
Great Orthodoxy.
Let's do specialist. He's going to be a campaign map agent for a while. Income is solid, despite all our armies. Treasury is solid, again, despite all the armies and all the buildings we've been doing. So things are really looking good for us. We can, in fact, even spend the 10 grand here to get this Grand Citadel 3, which is going to give extra 1 control faction-wide, extra income from buildings in that province. That's a nice buff to income in that province. And then at the forest here, we can finish this to the trade quorum. So the Slaneshi bribe paid huge dividends, and I'm glad for it. Let's go ahead. We're going to have to move into enemy territory. Actually, I'll just kind of... I don't think we're going to take a ton of attrition. What I hate, though, is when we do take attrition and they take it and knock a unit model off of my bears or war sleds because of the weird way that attrition works. Otherwise, we don't take a ton of attrition just right off the bat. Definitely could be Skaven up here. I'm seeing an army, so we very well could find ourselves mixed up with the Skaven. That's fine. I'm down with that opportunity. I like killing Skaven. Anyway, that's a good episode. So we pushed back the Legion of Chaos in Troll Country. We're about to push back Greyling here at Arengrad. We freed Boris Ursus. Tsarina Katarin is back in the motherland, at least for the time being. The rifts are still here. So some people are still working through the realms of chaos. We're actually not behind in the race. We could end up behind, but because of the new mechanics that they instituted, we should be fine. Like, so I'm not really worried about falling behind by one in the Souls race anymore because they finally updated those crappy mechanics and made them better. Income from all buildings. We're definitely going to take that. Invest in the future. Like investing. Okay. And I think that is going to be it for this one, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. Heir of Kislev signing out for now. I will see you all soon. Some more action in the Kislev campaign.